tribe has spoken.
I know that you were really upset about me falling asleep that day for some reason.
Wow.
Hello.
Welcome back to yours truly with me, Lucy.
And me, Asia.
Amazing. We're here this week to talk about
Big stuff.
fantasy suites.
Fantasy suites
for
and
Bachelorette.
Men Tell All.
Men Tell All. I'll be honest right from the get-go. I did not finish the Men Tell All, so
It
Asia
can
will
be a tough
reporting
watch
back.
because I feel any type of, when they're in that, what is that, studio?
Yeah,
the
live setting.
I hate it. There's so much filler, and there's like
So much filler.
it's so much filler and like just stuff that I just don't care about.
I agree.
And I'm like, I want to see a few conversations here and there, but I'm
Yeah.
like, I don't want to see you talking to previous Bachelor
Yeah.
people. I don't want to see you. I don't care.
I would agree with that. I think with The Bachelor, the one thing it's either lacking or it just sucks at, I don't know which it is, compared to other reality TV shows, is it tries, it's like almost puts in these scripted parts that I painfully have no interest or desire in watching. Like,
It's painful to
I
watch.
skipped the first 10 minutes of the episode because I'm like, I don't care about Jen talking to a previous Bachelorette about all these guys. I've watched the season. I don't need a rundown.
I know
every
where
single
we're
one.
at. I know where we're at, and I
don't
could
care.
tell you where Jen's at with each
so I'm
of
like,
them.
I'm skipping it already. Like,
Yeah.
I don't want to watch it. And so I
Yeah.
think that's similar to the Men Tell All a lot of the times, is like a lot of those
Yes.
conversations, I don't care.
Yeah.
And like, no matter how much you want me to care, I'm not gonna.
I
So-
like the few moments where they'll like open it up and the guys are like arguing and
Yeah.
whatever, but like then it's like they let like 30 seconds of that happen, and then Jesse's like, okay.
Stop,
And I'm like, no, let them
That's
go.
why we're watching.
Let them go.
We're watching it because of this.
Yeah.
I'm not watching to hear what they wish they did better
No.
or their thoughts and opinions on themselves. Like, I don't care. So
No.
anyway, I skipped the first 10-ish minutes of the Bachelorette episode because I had no desire to watch
Yeah.
the two women sit down and chat about what's going on. Like, I already know. So I skipped it.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't have time for this. So
I watched it.
Okay.
And that's unfortunate for me because I wish I would have skipped it.
okay. So you took nothing away
No,
from it.
absolutely
Great.
nothing.
Love it.
I don't even know who that is.
I couldn't tell you. I literally, as soon as someone walked on and sat
was
down,
like-
I was like, I already know what this is. I'm skipping it.
yeah.
I know this game that they try to
Dang.
do.
I should have done that.
It's okay. Hey, I was on a time crunch, so I was like,
Yeah.
I can't be lollygagging here.
Yeah.
So I was shocked again. Devin was the first date.
Yeah, this episode, I think the whole thing threw me off, and
It did a little bit me too.
I think I'm just like kind of irritated with the whole thing. I'll be honest.
Whoa.
Yeah.
I feel like I kind of have a lot of thoughts and opinions about it.
Yeah. Same.
And they're kind of like a deeper, thorough thoughts on like what I think is right and wrong.
All right. So let's hear it. Let's get into it.
Devin being first, I was interested after it happened again, where I was like, does she pick the order?
I don't know.
Like, I'm
Yeah.
very interested because he was first for hometowns dates.
Yeah.
And he was first for now the fantasy overnights one. And it made me think of last year with Joey. Kelsey was first for both as well.
Oh,
and part of
really?
me just then thinks, does she feel so secure in it that she's like, we can do it first and it's not going to like falter
Effects, yeah.
what I'm already thinking about Devin?
But also, I learned this, which I just think the edits, I think the Bachelor and the producers, they edit things, and I think it's a lot different. What I'm trying to say is there was like a couple TikToks or whatever that came out last with Joey's season where they were like showing how like when they call them up to receive the rose, like
that is
it's
true.
edited in a different way, so it's not. And I was like, that is unfair. You're skewing our, because like they just kept setting Daisy up, like she was always called first and whatever.
Yeah.
And then like she wasn't though, because there would be shots where like Kelsey would already have a rose, but like Daisy would be. So I'm like, is this even the order that this
That's
happened
true.
in?
Because Devin has gotten the rose first now, like the last 4 times.
But I'm like, I don't trust the producer. I'm just like, I think you're trying to skew me to like believe something or believe some narrative that you're writing.
I would believe that.
And I mean, it could be.
They don't care about us.
Yeah, they want us to be so shocked at the end, which that is the other issue. They always say every single time, this ending has never happened before, and I'm like, listen, how many options can there be with 2 people who want the same person? One's gonna propose. Like, how many different scenarios can play out? We've seen them all.
Maybe.
I don't know.
I would think we've seen almost all of them, but yet sometimes they do shock me still.
Yeah.
But I honestly think nothing will ever shock as much as when they pick one
and then
they change their mind and pick the runner up. Like, I do think that is still to this day like the craziest thing that they can do.
And the most hurtful, I feel like.
Oh,
has there been one where the person, Bachelor or Bachelorette, hasn't picked either? I don't know if that's happened. Because that's what I'm thinking potentially may happen.
I think
it's either that or one of the people. I think it's one or the other. Like, I think she's not going to pick anybody, or it's going to be this one person.
Okay. I have more thoughts on this, but I'll wait until the end. Okay, so Devin's date went well.
Like, I feel like all the dates were lackluster.
Yeah,
like,
they were
nothing.
Kind of boring. At some points, I was like, 10 seconds ahead, like skip. Like, I don't care. Like, I still do love Devin, and I think he's amazing at speaking about what he thinks. Yeah, the fact that he really, really wanted to hear the "I love you," I think, is a little irrational.
I have some thoughts on what happened at the end.
Yeah, I'm like, we all know the name of the game, and I just think I get it, because if I were in his shoes, I would 100% be the exact same way. Like, I would be like, to get down on one knee and not have heard "I love you" would make me just like very in the back of my head, very, very nervous that I'm going to look like an idiot. And like, that would be my biggest block, is my own perception of how the world would see me. So I totally get it. Like, I get where he's coming from. I too would want to hear "I love you." However, on the caveat, he did say, like, I don't want to feel stupid and be saying "I love you," and she says it to someone else. So, like,
I get that.
In my mind, I was like, dude, like, I wouldn't almost want to hear "I love you" at all. Because if I were to find out, if he gets chosen in the end, she did say "I love you" to Marcus, like, that would make me feel worse. So I think the only way that I would be able to talk myself down is being like, she's not saying it
at all
because she doesn't want, like, she's not saying it to anyone. Yeah. So, however, we also did see that that's not true. So it kind of then negated what I was thinking when I was watching Devin's. But he, like, so desperately wanted to hear "I love you." And I thought she did a good job at, like, telling him.
Yeah. I did too.
But I feel like at the end I'll have a lot
I have more
full circle
I have more thoughts about, like, what happened at the end of the episode than the date. I was like, yeah, whatever. Like, I really don't think the Bachelor or Bachelorette should say "I love you" until I think it's such a, because a few times that I've seen that happen is like when they finally can say it to that person, it's like a gift. It's like, I can say it to you and only you. And I just feel like there was like some pressure.
I agree.
And I just think, I didn't like that.
I didn't either. So I feel like also Devin, if he was genuinely the first, to then go like 3 days with speaking to no one and just being in like a hotel room by yourself with nothing, no TV,
any type of meltdown always happens in those days.
Yeah,
like after the date, and then
too would lose my mind.
That happened, I think, to Kelsey too.
Kelsey started freaking out.
Yeah, so I'm sure you're just all in your head about everything. But anyways,
and then Jonathan was next. So, well, Devin, he got the fantasy suite, whatever.
I mean, they all went
to the fantasy
Spoiler
suite.
alert, they all went to the fantasy suite. I don't think we've seen one where they don't go in ages.
Except for, Zach. Remember Zach Crosses? He was the one that we kind of thought was really boring a few seasons ago.
Yeah.
he went to the fantasy suite, but he only slept with one of them, and it looked so bad.
Because then he sent her home. Didn't he?
I don't think so. I think, though, like, he had mentioned it.
No, I remember thinking this. He slept with one, sent her home, and then I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't
so
know.
it was weird.
Something.
It is weird when, like,
yeah.
I mean,
it's weird when they don't all go, and honestly, it's weird when they discuss what they did.
yeah,
at all.
I just feel like let's not
Like,
talk about
don't.
it. Like, just keep that to yourselves. That's your private,
Yeah.
uninterrupted time. You don't need to tell us what happened.
That was probably my least favorite part about Hannah Brown's season. Was the whole windmill bit. I
hated that. I despised
overplayed.
that. Yeah.
I just like hated it.
Yeah.
And then like she was like very transparent about what she did with each of them, and I just was like, this is like weird.
Yeah.
And I also just think, yeah, if anybody were to watch it back, and you like obviously slept with someone during one, and then you didn't sleep with another,
Yeah.
it looks weird.
It's a bad look for
weird.
you. It's a bad look.
And so, yeah. So Devin had the overnight, whatever. Moving on. Jonathan. Sweet Jonathan. I love Jonathan.
Me too.
Spoiler, Jonathan goes home.
No. Yeah. And let's get into it.
Jonathan gets sent home.
Jonathan gets, and I was surprised.
You were.
I mean, at the end of,
I think I knew. I saw a spoiler, so I guess I can't say
actually
my
I did
true
too, but I was like, the spoiler moment that I saw, I was like, no. Because the whole time we've been saying, Jonathan and Devin would be at the end, and I was pretty locked in.
Yeah.
So I was shocked when I saw that. After I saw all the dates play out, I was like, okay. I'll say it. I think that was a fumble. I think it was a
huge fumble.
And I saw something online that I wholeheartedly agree with. It was like somebody posted like, I haven't seen a fumble like that since Hannah Brown dumped Tyler Cameron.
Yeah.
And I was like, I agree with that. That
man
was the biggest fumble in Bachelor history.
And I think she knew it.
When Hannah Brown dumped Tyler Cameron, I was like, what are you doing?
See, I was like Team Jed.
Oh,
I know. I
hated
don't know
Jed.
why.
Oh my God, he was an idiot.
I know. But I thought their chemistry was more authentic.
Yeah,
and I think I
maybe.
can say the same with this. Her and Jonathan didn't have the same chemistry she had with at least Devin in my mind.
Yeah.
And
I can see it with Devin. I think I'm mad about the Marcus situation.
I agree. And I think with Jonathan, I think he may have been his own worst enemy, and he totally owned up to that.
Yeah.
I think the fact that he wanted to create a lighthearted space with her every time is such a good thing in the beginning.
Yeah.
But if you don't shift it by the end, I think it comes across, at least to the women, when it's Bachelorette, as like they're not opening up enough.
Yeah.
And they're not like getting deep and like sharing their dark, like deeper sides of themselves.
Yeah.
Because he was saying like, I always want this to be fun for you, da 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 da. And I think that's great. But I think in that moment, you could almost see it in her like eyes and brain where she was like, yeah, but because the other two have shared so much more emotionally, like history wise.
Yeah.
Family history,
Yeah.
their own self-doubts, their own struggles, and he just like hadn't.
Yeah.
And so I loved them together. I thought they did have great like back and forth banter, but I think that's what
and
was
it's really just unfortunate because it's the whole process.
Yeah.
Like it's so accelerated, and I mean I respect that in a person to like
I would be him if I were.
protect. Keep your cards close to your chest
1,000%.
because you don't know this person,
Yeah.
you know, and I'm the same way. So I respect that. But in this type of scenario, it doesn't work.
No.
And
And
that's
even more
just
so,
unfortunate.
I'm on TV. I don't.
No.
Like,
it's so
I could
true.
never, what Marcus has shared, I could never share that on live TV.
Literally, it's like I'm telling you, this person I've been dating for 5 minutes, but I'm also telling the world.
And like, that's a
That's a
whole different
lot.
thing. So
I don't think I would share.
No, I wouldn't. I would be the exact same way. I wouldn't share enough,
I'd be
and
like,
I would
no,
be sent home.
I'm not telling you
Yeah.
like my biggest traumas
No, I wouldn't
on national television.
at all.
And I've known you 5 minutes. Like,
That's why I think there's certain people who didn't excel on The Bachelor and Bachelorette, but then on Paradise go
they
so much
do.
farther, because when watching The Men Tell All, Abby reminded me of that, where like she has the whole, she's deaf.
Yeah.
But then like anything other than that,
Yeah.
she didn't open up enough on her single season, but I think that's why her and Noah worked so well.
Yeah.
Is she didn't even open up that much on Bachelor in Paradise,
Yeah.
but like he was willing to give her a shot after,
Yeah.
and now they're like
You just need more time.
one of
and
my
that's
favorite.
Totally, like, normal.
They're like one of my favorite Bachelor couples. So Jonathan's went great from what we saw. We thought it was great.
Yeah.
And then we moved to Marcus. And I just, as soon as she said what they were doing, I was like, she picked the best date for him.
Yeah.
By far. So
Yeah.
it was like interesting. They went swimming at night with manta rays.
Yeah.
Like, that was by far, her and Jonathan walked around a market together.
Yeah.
And so after she said that that's what they were doing, I was like, okay. But then
Clearly there's favorites here.
Clearly. So then they did their whole dinner and he told her, like, I'm not in love with you yet. And she told him, I am in love with you.
Yeah. I was pretty surprised at her reaction to that. I was like,
I was shocked.
I was like, girl. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he was. It took him even to get those words out.
Yeah,
he was struggling to like. Was struggling to like explain that he wasn't there, and then she just comes out and says like, I love you, and I'm like,
yeah. What? So this is where I think psychologically there's like a whole different thing that she's going through. I think the very first episode she said she wanted a guy with a big personality.
Yes, I do remember that.
In my mind, I think her and Devin work the best.
Yeah.
Because she is not having to drag things out of him, which I think is what she's used to in all of her past relationships. And I think that's why she was hesitant to say I love you to Devin, because she was so scared by it. And I think she was so reassured, she didn't feel pressured or like the need to say I love you back. Whereas on the flip side with Marcus, she could tell that he was the one that was not.
Yeah.
And so I think that's why she wanted to say I love you, maybe to like encourage him to say it. But I think he's more of what she's always had.
Yeah.
And she's like drawing it out of him.
Yeah.
Because I just feel like in the beginning she said she likes a big personality, and I don't think she has a huge personality.
No.
Like she is very like easy to chat with and like personable. But I think like she's not the one to walk in the room and like command attention and command the room.
Marcus isn't that either.
And Marcus isn't that either. And I think she wants someone like that because Devin does like bring her up there.
Yeah.
And she gets so much more bubbly, so much more confident. And with Marcus, I think she's lowering herself to meet him where he's at. And I don't like it.
I definitely get what you're saying. I feel like a lot of women, including myself, do this thing where it's like, if like the guy's not giving you, you're like trying so hard to convince him.
Yes.
And it's like, it becomes this like mental game where you're like, I want to convince him. Like I am enough for him. Like he is going to like me. And then it ends up being like you trying to, you trying to convince him to like you. Whereas with Devin, it's completely like he's giving all the reassurance and he's actually needing more reassurance. And so it's like flipped. But I think she's getting caught in like that like psychological game of like, I want him to like me and I'm trying to convince him. And I mean, we're all seeing it.
Yeah.
Plain and simple.
I think
he's not there.
He's not there.
He's not there.
And I think she has said so much that she wants an engagement at the end.
Yeah.
And he so clearly, obviously, is not going to be doing
that. But that's
that.
why I'm so confused why
she sent home Jonathan.
And why he's still there.
I agree.
It's so disrespectful. If you're not there, you need to leave.
I agree.
Like he should have left maybe a week or two ago.
I think he should have left for sure after hometowns.
Yeah. If he's not there and like doesn't. Yeah, he's not there, and I just think it's based on what she's saying she wants, and he knows in his heart. I feel like that is not ready to propose.
No,
and I think you need to leave. Like you need to do the respectful thing and leave, and let this play out with the other two.
And I would say, I don't know if it's too maybe like a hard to get sort of thing, where like it's the same thing that you were saying, like, you want to convince them. And just because Devin is like so matched and like so has said I love you so many times at that point.
Yeah.
If I were her, I would be like, great. Like Devin's
Yeah.
in my pocket. I have to figure out these other two, which is not the right mindset, I'm sure, to go into it. But
Yeah.
if I were Devin, then when he goes to talk to her, I would 100% agree more if he knew that she had said that to Marcus.
No, yeah.
But like since he didn't,
Since he
I do
doesn't know.
think he pressured her a little bit.
Yeah.
But I think that's why. So Marcus says, "Yeah, I don't love you."
Yeah, so he's like struggling. He's like, I'm not there. And basically she's like, I love you. And
yeah. And then in her talking head, she's like, I think he could maybe get there by the end of the week. I was like, Jen, that's crazy.
yeah.
And so I was like, that I think is not the best. And so then the next day, Devin had been losing his mind.
Yeah.
Talked to Jesse about like how much he just like needed reassurance and how like scared he was feeling and how he like has always been second, third best and like that's not what he wants. So I think he had every right to go and talk to her. But what I would disagree was he was like, I need reassurance. And I think when she started reassuring him, since he said nothing, that's what made her finally say, I love you. I think he should have been like, thank you. It's like good to hear. And it's
Yeah.
just been like however many days since I've seen you. And I'm like,
Yeah.
in my brain, like I'm starting to think it was all like not real. I don't think he should have just sat there in silence, like looking down.
No.
I didn't love that.
I was annoyed with that. I
Okay.
think Devin's gonna at the end of the day, I think Devin's a better fit for her.
Yeah.
I hope if she doesn't I feel like she needs to either pick him or nobody. Like
I agree.
definitely not Marcus. But I was annoyed with this because I think he went and threw a little fit. I think he was being a little bit
I would
of a
agree.
baby and threw a fit and got exactly what he wanted because he pressured her.
I would agree with that.
I don't like I think I'm just like, okay. It makes total sense if you're dating in the regular world and you're not getting the same reassurance, absolutely. But you
You're in
signed
an
up
experiment.
for the Bachelorette.
Yeah.
Do you know, like, that is the name of the game.
Yeah.
Like, she's dating multiple people. Of course, you're one of. Like,
Yeah.
he said that, like, line where he's like, I want to be the one. Right now,
Yeah,
I
that
feel like
part I was
one
like,
of.
dude,
I'm like, you are
you
one
are
of.
one of.
Because you signed up for this.
Yeah, there's still three of you.
Like, until she chooses the one, you're not going to be the one
Yeah.
until the other two are gone.
I would agree.
So I was annoyed with that. I was annoyed that, like, he was pressuring her to say, I love you. When in his other previous, like, talking head, he was like, if she said, I love you to someone else, like, I would be gutted. I'm like, so you're
Yeah.
condescending. It's
contradicting.
contradicting yourself because if someone else probably feels the same way, and the fact that she's saying I love you to you, it's going to damage potentially another relationship if you don't end up being the one. So I feel like he pressured her into saying I love you, and I just feel like it wasn't as beautiful of a moment as like if she said it on her own accord. Like,
I agree.
at the end, if she waited
100%
for an
agree.
engagement and was like, finally I can say I love you, that would have been such a beautiful gift.
It would have been such a
Now,
wonderful moment.
this time she was like, I love you, you stupid idiot.
I
I'm
hated
like,
that.
I was like, okay,
Hated
that was
that.
like not special at all.
No.
And you just like coerced her
Yeah.
to say that. And then he got what he wanted and he was like, all right, feel great. I'm like, because you just
Yeah.
threw a big fit
Yeah.
and got what you wanted.
Yeah.
And I just was like, I was annoyed.
Yeah.
I was annoyed with the whole thing because Marcus, obviously, you're not there. You need to go home.
Yeah.
Devin, you want to be the one. We know that. But like, you have to wait for the experiment to play out.
Yeah. And it's not a good look if you're going to be like pressury like that.
Yeah.
So
Anyways, those were
valid.
my thoughts. I was like,
I think that's a good point.
kind of annoyed with everything. Although I do think her and Devin are a good fit.
Yeah.
Like, as long as if he's being genuine,
Mm-hmm.
then I think it's a good fit. If he's not being genuine, then that sucks for
Yeah.
her. But
I've seen some clips because on the Men Tell All, they bring out Jen and Jonathan just compliments her.
oh my gosh, it was so
galore.
sweet. I always I'm like weird. Like, anytime that happens, I'm like, I hope they're not. I don't want them to like be so like still hung up on her.
Mm-hmm.
So I hope it's just like genuine. Hey, I like admire you. He was so nice though. Like, he complimented her dress and like, I just was like, oh
Cute.
man, I hope you're not like
Yeah.
still.
See, I
don't
kind of
know.
saw like, since all the guys were friends,
Yeah.
some
Yeah,
people
yeah,
were
yeah.
like, there's no way she's with Marcus or Devin. And Jonathan is like saying that. Like some people were like, it seems
Oh.
like disrespectful almost to Marcus and Devin if she's engaged
Interesting.
to him be saying that, which I don't really, I mean, from what I saw, I didn't think it was like,
No, it was
disrespectful
like
to, like, the
he said she
fiancé.
looked the dress that he said there was like a running list of all of his favorite dresses that she wore, and that the one she wore at the mental health was number one. I was like, that's
so
really sweet.
cute.
That's an interesting point though.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I have been thinking. I'm like, either she picks Devin or I think she picks no one,
Yeah.
and that's tough for her.
Even if she picks Devin, like, I don't know if they're still together.
That is another.
That's
I
what
guess
makes me
that is another
nervous.
option that she, because I feel like it's hard, especially as the Bachelorette, to not pick anyone because usually the women are so like, I want to be engaged at the end of this. I think it's more. The dudes are more apt to not pick anyone at the end. I feel like.
I also just hate when they end up like at the finale, they're single. I despise it. I just feel like I watched all of it for nothing.
For nothing, yeah.
Like for nothing. I'm like, this was all a waste.
Yeah.
And I felt passionately about some of you. And so I'm like, now it's all for nothing.
Yeah.
But that's fine. I did watch the part in Men Tell All where Noah's twin was speaking and called out Spencer.
That
And I
was
like,
weird.
That was dumb.
That was so
embarrassing for
dumb.
you. I did love that his brother was like, you're kind of an idiot.
No, his brother totally like I just got like secondhand embarrassment almost for the twin because
I did,
his brother
yeah.
like flat out disagreed with him and he was just like, I can't come back from that.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I didn't like him.
I didn't either. I thought he was very kind of like chauvinistic.
Weird vibe.
And
For
so
sure.
I didn't like him. I did see a clip of what Jen said to Sam
Yeah.
and like pretty much shut him down.
Pretty much put him in his place. I did feel like she came out guns a-blazing.
I did.
like
yeah.
scripted, like ready, this is what I'm gonna say. I'm fired up. I mean, she had a right
It's a
to
lot sometimes.
She had a right to say it, but yeah, I was kind of like, okay, we get it.
Yeah.
Like,
I feel like she could have just been like, I'm going to keep the main thing the
The
main,
main
thing.
thing.
And like the
Yeah.
fact that you are mad that producers put you on a bad edit,
Yeah.
like you gave them material to give them a bad edit. So at the end of the day, you still said what you said.
yeah. Yeah.
And so, but she was like, yeah, it
She
was
was
scripted.
fired. Like, I think the fact that she was still that fired up about it, I was like,
Watch.
yeah, a little awkward.
It's just always awkward to watch when they like come at those people
Yeah.
somewhat so
yeah.
aggressively.
Yeah.
Like I just like get such secondhand embarrassment.
I feel like I don't think I expected anything other than what Sam presented with. Like, he kind of played the, like, oh, I'm going to take some accountability, but like, he just kind of has that air where,
Yeah.
like, kind of smirking the whole time. Like, after they replayed, like, his kind of, like, his
Real.
edits and
Yeah.
stuff, and it wasn't good, he was, like, smirking.
Ew.
And then
People like that
I like
irritate me.
saw the moment, like he was smirking, and then he like caught himself, and then he like,
Ugh,
and I was like, so you're proud of
that's so
you're
annoying.
proud of that, obviously. So
That's so annoying.
the guys came at him. He was like, he just kept saying like he just kept saying that over and over again, and was like, yeah, I wish I could have done things different or whatever. But at the end of the day, it wasn't a very sincere
No.
like accountability taking
Okay.
type of thing.
That makes sense.
The only other thing in the mental was they did bring Grant up for he's a new
The new
bachelor.
Bachelor.
It seems like, I don't know necessarily if I was like a huge Grant fan, but I don't know if he like got enough really airtime. Maybe
I feel
seems
like.
like all the guys really liked him. He's like a
good.
stand-up dude. Hakeem said something which I thought was really cool. He was like, I just really admire you, Grant. Like, you're a man of God, and you like brought me to God too. And I was like, okay, maybe I will watch.
Oh my gosh, we are watching.
So
Are you
I
serious?
thought that was really cool.
That's so sweet.
That like even like saying that on national television, like, I
Yeah.
respect this about you, and you brought me closer to God too. And I was like,
maybe we apply.
Jesse did say that after he was announced, there was 10,000 more applicants after he was like announced as the Bachelor. And I was like, go off, queens.
Fair. I love that. The last thing I feel like I wanted to mention about the mental all was I absolutely love Brett.
Oh my
and
gosh.
That sweet boy went home night one, and I want them to bring him back so bad because I think he's just so cute. And
they gave him a shout out though. Like I guess he received like tons of love online.
He read all those weird texts.
Yeah. He seems like super
Seems
sweet.
like a sweet boy.
I think it wouldn't have been the opposite if it was a female in that position, like being.
You think it would have been?
No, it wouldn't have been received as well.
Yeah.
If it was like a female.
I don't know.
Plus size female type of a thing.
Yeah.
Which is unfortunate, but
good point.
But he seems so cute.
Sweet.
Yeah, sweet. I think since he got so much love, I think they'll probably bring him back for something.
For Paradise,
yeah,
probably.
yeah.
I think he's very attractive. So
Yeah. They said Jonathan's going to be on Paradise.
Oh.
They invited him, and then Hakeem.
Nice.
They invited him. Yeah, we'll see. Probably.
I want Jeremy.
Jeremy, yeah.
I want Jeremy to go in Paradise. I love Jeremy.
Yeah.
He looks so good.
He did look good.
I was like, oh, such a handsome man.
He did look good, yeah.
So, sweet.
Yeah, that's a wrap, I think.
Next week will be our finale review.
It's a 3-hour finale. Are you kidding me? There's going to be so much filler. So much filler. But we'll be here to recap it all for you.
You may not even have to watch it. Beautiful.
Right.
Well, we will
See ya.
talk to you later.
See you next time.
Bye.